I've wondered before, are there even items in CS2 you can invest in for the short term? Well, I decided to find out, and I think I did. My only criteria was an item where I'd be able to profit within the year. And to put my money where my mouth is, I dropped 2 grand on this item, and I'm going to need it for a trip that I have planned in January of next year. And if it doesn't work out, I guess I'm staying home. And so in this video, I'm covering all the decision making behind my choices, as well as if it's even been working so far. But first, just a word from today's sponsor. SkinsMonkey is an automated trading bot that's perfect if you want to swap out your skins fast and safely. They've got plenty of filters and plenty of items to choose from, so once you've found something that you like, make sure to enter my code SPAGHETTI and you'll get cash back up to $5 on a $100 trade, as well as a 35% deposit bonus, which is 5% more than regular, with code SPAGHETTI. But if you refuse to spend any money, go to the freebies section and they run giveaways there all the time, so it's definitely worth checking out. Thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. So to decide which item, you have to look at the grand scheme of the market. There's a ton of options. You could go into stickers, agents, capsules, cases, skins directly, just to name the main ones. But for me, it all came down to the concept and how a particular item will be influenced by future updates from CS2. And when you look at it like that, it eliminates stickers because they get new sticker releases from majors, which could potentially impact past ones like we're seeing right now. That eliminates agents because the supply never goes down, and so if a new one and better ones come out, then the other ones could just get phased out and lose all their value. And then it eliminates skins as well, because just like the agents, their supply never actually decreases. And so then the most consistent option would have to be cases, and that is what I ended up choosing. But not just any case, and even further beyond that, there's actually a few cases I like way more than all the other options. And so I have the top 3 that stand out, and I'll be saving the best one for last. So number 3 is Spectrum 2. This one's a fair bit obvious. I've been preaching it for a long time, but it had a really big run up at the beginning of the year when I put the chunk of my change in. So it's not as good of a pick right now, but it's still consistently hitting really high unboxing demand while having the high tier knives and being cheaper than pretty much any of the other old rare cases. So still a good pick, just not as much potential as the other ones. Then option 2 is going to be revolver case, and that's simply because 2 things: low supply and cheap. Low supply means less volatile, so it's less likely to spike either up or down, which is exactly what we want. And it's cheap, meaning the ROI or the gain is going to be amplified, which again is what we want. And that's one I've also been preaching for a while, but still a good buy. And then finally, the last one, the number 1 pick in my opinion, is actually one I haven't really talked about too much, and that's going to be Chroma 3. And again, the reasoning comes down to unboxing demand. It has oddly high unboxing demand relative to something like the Gamma 2, which is newer, has more supply, and is only slightly more expensive. With it being that much older, the supply is going to be that much lower, and if it's maintaining that kind of unboxing demand, it's looking pretty sweet. And I would say the Chroma 3 case has the highest likelihood of running up like the Spectrum 2 case did earlier this year because of those reasons. And so those are my picks. And keep in mind, these are just picks that I have the most confidence in, not necessarily the only things I'm going into. I like to be decently diversified, and so you'll see my portfolio does have some cheaper rare cases like the Danger Zone and the Prisma 2, which it actually has more into that, but they have not been performing well recently. And then a few other expensive ones like Gamma 2. So if you are looking to do this kind of short-term thing, diversification is always going to be the best play, especially if you're aiming for short-term. And so the ones I mentioned are just the ones that I like the most. And I would not recommend copying me. I'm just sharing you my choices that I made like 5 months ago, and I'm a big high risk, high reward kind of guy. So my low risk might be way too high for you. And so is this idea smart or dumb? I don't know, we'll find out. But as for the strategy I'm using, it's actually the exact one that I mentioned in my previous video. And so far, I'm up around 8% using that exact strategy from the beginning of this year. And while that's not below my socks off 350% that we got last year, it's doing pretty well. And honestly, for a stagnant market, it's better than I expected. But we've still got a lot of time left, and it's not liquidated, obviously, so we can't really count it as profits. But I'll definitely be updating this video when the time comes that I actually need the money, and we'll see if the CS2 market's actually any profitable. But yeah, subscribe if you want to follow my journey and maybe help me afford this trip if the market goes down. That's all, bye-bye.